and we know that. It's about how we respond, and there's nothing we can do about what just happened. So there's no point to have our head down or be sad about it or sulk about it. All we can do is be better for the next game, and that's what we're focused on.
Those felt like winter outfits, like Met Gala outfits. But anyway, the Thunder, they've been incredible all year. But because of that, they have played in the fewest clutch games in the NBA this season. OKC only had 8 games the entire regular season that were within 3 points in the final 30 seconds. The Nuggets, on the other hand, they had 23. And that experience showed as we say hello to our senior writer, Brian Windhorst. Windy, what was OKC's biggest issue, do you think, looking down the stretch here?
Yeah, I know there's going to be a lot of focus on some of the decision making with the strategy at the end. But one of the things that has bothered the Thunder in big losses over the last couple of years is when their offense kind of evaporates under pressure. It's either Shea or nothing. And that's what happened in this game.
Yeah.
Shea made a basket with about 4.5 minutes left that put them up 11. At that point, you really thought on their home court they were going to take it. Malika, then they went 1 of 8 shooting down the stretch, and they had some missed free throws. You saw the ones from Chet. They still don't have a 100% reliable second option. I know that sometimes that's Jalen Williams. It wasn't last night. He was 5 of 20 in that game. And so while the shot at the end, some of Jokic's plays and some of the strategy were a factor, of course, the offensive shutdown is what opened the door to let Denver make the move.
You know, when I think about it, you talk about the close games, right, that the Thunder haven't played in and that the Nuggets have played in. It's not even just the regular season. The Oklahoma City Thunder didn't have a tough first round. They blew through the first round. Yeah. Meanwhile, the Denver Nuggets, think of the close games that they just went through against the Clippers. They had an overtime win. What, they have a 2-point loss. They had a 3-point win. They had close games. To me, the Denver Nuggets, they look like they have been here before because they have. They're a group that's won a championship, but they've also just recently been through very tight games, and they know what it takes to win. And I know everyone's going to talk about Aaron Gordon with the 3-point shot at the end, but that 3-point shot was a culmination of an excellent game by Aaron Gordon. 7 of his 14 rebounds were offensive. He had exciting plays that ignited the team. You saw him put that dunk through Chet Holmgren. I know this is a big-time shot, but the cuts he made, the plays he made, and the energy that he played with, he made winning plays all night long.
The game rewards the game, but it is a culmination of the regular season. He worked so hard in the offseason on improving his 3-point shooting. He shot a career-high 43% from 3 during the regular season, and now he's sort of seeing the proof in the pudding when the games matter the most.
Yeah, but I love the games within the games because the Oklahoma City Thunder had the highest scoring differential in NBA history this regular season, winning their games by 13 points. The next 4 in that category, as you see right here, Thunder, Lakers, Bucks, Bulls, Warriors, they all won the title. So there's pressure there. But this is the game within the game because if you think about their lack of being able to play in clutch time, they played the fewest clutch time games. Now you're running into, what did I call it, the immovable object? And Nikola Jokic, who literally thrives in clutch time. He's 4th in points, 3rd in rebounds, 2nd in assists. So now they're going to have to, as you mentioned, Malika, learn on the fly. And I think when you look at the matchup, I said yesterday, it's the center position that really has to step up for them. That's what they went in. They got Hartenstein. They have Holmgren there. Now you have to make sure that is, showing up against Jokic when it matters most.
And while the others showed up for Denver to help out Nikola Jokic's monster night, Russell Westbrook big game, Aaron Gordon big game, it's those others, as Brian was saying, that maybe weren't quite there for Oklahoma City. So Denver gets game 1 here. Let's stick with the theme of a comeback because we had not 1, but 2 last night. The Celtics, they had a 20-point lead over the Knicks in game 1. That usually means game over for Boston's opponents. Entering this game, they were
just keep fighting, sticking together, and keep chipping away. Now, what is it going to be? A 20-point shot where you can just come back. We just have to keep chipping away possession by possession.
This team has fought all year. It's been a pretty good road team. We've had to endure some things with guys being out, and I think over time that helps you. You build up, your mental toughness and understanding how important that is.
Check out the cover of the New York Daily News this morning. A little Goodwill Hunting. How do you like them apples? Brian, do you believe that last night's performance by the Knicks is repeatable?
No. Not so much what the Knicks did, but I know I'm in trouble now. I'm in trouble with all my Knicks fan friends. The Celtics missed 32 open clean look three-pointers. And I just don't think that's going to happen again. What I do think is repeatable, what the Knicks have shown they've been able to do for a while now, is win clutch time, because they have the best clutch time player in the NBA. So however they get to clutch time in any game in this series, whether it's by hook or by crook, by missed free throws, missed three-pointers, whatever happens, that is what I think is repeatable. I think they can win clutch time. They've also proven that they can win on the road. They're 4-0 on the road in this postseason, 3-0 in the last series. They win in Boston in Game 1. I don't think they can count on the Celtics having historically bad volume shooting nights. So, but obviously, this is how the Knicks have to get through. They have to steal games here and there. They're 1 for 1 in that one.
Listen, I'm going to give the Knicks a little bit more credit than Brian Windhorst just did. And this isn't because the Knicks gave me a hard time last season in the postseason. Knicks fans gave me absolute hell last postseason. However, there are some things that are repeatable for the Knicks. We also can't act like the Knicks played a perfect game. When you talk about Karl Anthony Towns, he was limited in scoring. Mikal Bridges was 3 of 13. They gave up 19 offensive rebounds. So 1, the Knicks can play better. But 2, the defensive possession to tie the game in the fourth quarter, it wasn't because the Celtics settled. In fact, Jason Tatum doesn't settle on this possession. OG Anunoby's guarding the ball. Jason Tatum goes over the screen, continues to be in attack mode. Karl Anthony Towns moves his feet, and OG Anunoby gets the steal. This is the possession that tied the game. That defensive effort and defensive energy can be repeated to help the Knicks keep this a competitive series.
Well, we said yesterday the way that the Knicks can win is the law of averages. And I think we took that to the extreme when we forecasted potentially the Celtics missing shots. So I'm even more high on the Knicks because now they have the confidence knowing that we stole one on the road. Yeah. We have not just one. Everyone talks about Brunson being a closer. OG Anunoby, 55 out of their 63 points in the second half and overtime were between those two. So they have 2 closers. You have potentially a better game from Cat. You're returning home feeling like, all right, like game 2, whether what happens or not, like we're feeling good, like we can compete in this series. You gave the wrong team, most importantly, the wrong city.
Right. The New York Knicks, they went out and got big wings for the Boston Celtics. I'm not saying that this is some sort of proof of the New York Knicks being the better team in this series, but this is why they go out and get those sorts of wings. Also, we harp so much on Tom Thibodeau and never getting out of a drop. I just want to give him credit, some low switches that we've ever seen here for the New York Knicks. And it worked. But Boston, to your point, missed an NBA record 45 three-pointers in Game 1. It's the third quarter that's drawing a ton of attention here. The Celtics attempted a grand total of 1 shot inside the three-point line for the entire quarter. They were outscored 30-23. Here's Tatum on their shot selection.
Obviously, in hindsight, if we could go back, we probably would drive the ball a little bit more because we missed a lot of shots tonight. But, there's a balance. Sometimes, it's a make or miss league. And then there's sometimes where, you can get a better shot.
Andrea, I hear you're bothered. I hear there's something about the Celtics that's bothering you.
Well, yeah, because when you talk about it, there's a difference between the Celtics in a system or the Celtics settling. Are you playing within system or are you settling for those threes? And that is the biggest thing for me. And when Jason Tatum talks about being able to get a better shot, there were a couple of plays. I know they had some open threes, but there were a couple of plays where they could have went from a good shot to a great shot. And there's a big difference in that.
It's not even just a couple of plays. You have the ball. You have the mismatch. You have Brunson in front of you. You got a foot on him. You have Hart in front of you. You have mismatches with the post, and you're still shooting those threes. Sometimes you wish you had a teammate, because if I were their teammate, I'd be like, y'all, attack, go inside. Look, I absolutely still believe the Boston Celtics are the team to beat. They are the favorite. They've been there. They've done that. They're deeper. People don't talk about Porzingis missing those crucial minutes as well. So if they're healthy, which they're hopefully trending to be, they still should be able to handle business. But you don't play with your food, especially at this point. Yes, it's a make or miss league, but you know what? The system that won you a championship, the league is different. The teams have reloaded. The strategies are more intense. This has been the most fun NBA playoffs we've watched, but also the most physical NBA playoffs. Different factors are into the equation now that I think Coach Joe Mazzulla has to address.
To be fair to Boston, Kristaps Porzingis, he did leave this game with an illness and he did not return. That was a big part of all of this. I've had so much fun in this postseason, and clearly Stephen A, I guess, is having a lot of fun watching us talk about this as well. He has some notes for us, I suppose. He says, wait a minute. I'm watching y'all right now, and I don't like the absence of enthusiasm, of glee about my Knicks. Is it you that's convincing us to calm down? Or is that Brian Windhorst? All right.
I just hyped up the Knicks, Stephen A. Listen, lock in.
You
Pay
gotta do the
attention.
New York stand up.
Yeah.
New York, stand up. Oh, there you see. All right. He forgives
Thank you.
He forgives
There
It's just,
we
you know,
go.
sometimes Stephen A. hoped. But the Rockets made a jump this year, going from a 500 team that missed the playoffs to the second seed in the West. They're just 2 years removed, remember, from winning 22 games and finishing at the bottom of the conference. So here's Raphael Stone earlier this afternoon on what could be next for Houston.
If we trade for a player, assuming that that player will be the same player in our environment that they were in the last one, that's not always the case. And so, you know, you have to make the best choices you can. But I would say plan A has always been to develop our current group.
You've seen teams make a lot of moves, and they feel like they need to get over the hump, and Doncic is added or Butler is added, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But we always felt comfortable about what we had here and that we take this step this year.
I'm not mad at it. In Ime we trust. For years, I used to beg to get the Houston Rockets on the show, and just look at us now. After seasons of solid drafts, significant signings, both coach and player, Houston finished #2 in the West and is in the playoffs, likely a piece away from true contention. Now, while most of the squad may be up for grabs in that pursuit, one player has moved himself into untouchable territory. Amen Thompson, period. There are so many plays that simply make you stop and stare. Did you see that fillet? That lay? It's wild. We need another angle of this. Behind the back, here, tough gather, Pajemski's on the floor, doesn't matter, up, Draymond contesting, DPOY type, and then the nice, tough English to finish. In January, do you guys remember he averaged 19 points and 10 rebounds? He's a walking highlight on both ends. The Houston Rockets, we're no longer in the middle of the pack. They're making moves to be on top. Once again, look at the pivot. Look at the defense here from Amen. He's locked in on Jimmy Butler, one of the most competitive pieces that we have seen in a long time. Getting to be in two places at once, going from lockdown defender to help side defender to snagging the rebounds. Again, I say all the time in the NBA, the worst place to be is in the middle. The Rockets, they've moved. What is the song? Moving on up all the way to the top, Malika.
Well, Tanae, now they have some decisions to make, and for that, we welcome in our front office insider, Bobby Marks. They have a checklist, really, Bobby, that they need to work through this offseason, starting with the deadline that is actually on Friday. So can you just walk us through the Rockets summer and what their priorities are?